Hi guys, when approaching inspector calls, if we are looking for the grade 8s and 9s, we might consider critical theory, and starting with Marxism is the perfect place. Marxism then. Marxism is the idea that society is built on capitalism, on the idea that society is based on making profit. So the proletariat and the working class work to make money for the bourgeoisie, the middle class, obviously the upper class as well, and therefore in this kind of hierarchy the upper class control the means of production. In the interest of improving our vocabulary, key terms there are proletariat and bourgeoisie. Difficult to spell, but have a look. Division, conflict, hierarchy, profit. I suppose we can put exploitation there as well. Eva Smith, who is a metaphorical representation of the proletariat, the lower class and the working classes, is exploited by the bourgeoisie. In this instance, Mr. Berlin, Mrs. Berlin, Sheila Berlin, Eric and Gerald. Move to feminism and Simone de Beauvoir. I know I've done a post about this before, but Simone de Beauvoir talks about how obviously there's an expectation based on gender, and naturally at the time of an inspector calls, women were oppressed. And she kind of talks in her theories about how women are valued for their looks and for their societal functions. Now this is pivotal to an inspector calls because of the way people like Gerald and Eric describe her. But notice how many times someone asks if she's pretty. The fact that Gerald picks her up in the bar because she's out of place. Also what we get with Simone de Beauvoir, if you check my website and my YouTube channel, is something called the second sex. And again, in a hierarchy, women are placed below men. We have a patriarchal society. So vocabulary then, we've got autonomy there, we've got dominant ideology, we've got restrictive roles, we've got the word gender, obviously we've got societal functions. I suppose to some extent we've got objectification of women. Last but not least is Sigmund Freud and Psychoanalysis. Again, it is on my YouTube channel, but Sigmund Freud's talking about the id, the ego and the superego. And the id is with us from birth. It's when we have an urge that needs to be satisfied. For instance, a baby cries when they're hungry, they snatch toys. So that is an urge that we want to satisfy immediately. Develops next, and that is the decision-making part of our brain, and that works with reason and strategy. Is last, and that is the values and the morals of society, and that is when we start to experience things like guilt. So when we start looking at inspector calls, there's an argument for Sheila there, there's an argument for Eric there. Is last, and that is the values and the morals of society, and that is when we start to experience things like guilt. So when we start looking at inspector calls, there's an argument for Sheila there, there's an argument for Eric there. Anything else from me, guys, it's at Stacey Ray on social media. Check out my YouTube channel, my Instagram page, and I hope it is going well.